Hello dear students and all the listeners. My name is Hardika Raval and today we'll be discussing about the part 2 of chapter 1, that is Internet Basics. In this part we are going to learn about blogs and news groups. You will also learn to create a blog of your own and how to access the news groups. So let's start with our part 2. You may have heard about the word blog and bloggers. Basically, blogging means sharing information on any topic which may interest the audience. We may have blogs on travel, food, etc. That is purely the choice of the blogger. Now let us understand how does the blog function and how can we make a blog ourselves. First, let us understand what is a blog. The term blog is derived from the term weblog. A blog is a type of website usually maintained by an individual. It contains regular entries of commentary, description of events or some other materials such as graphics or videos. Blog also mean to maintain or add content to a blog. The person who writes a blog is also called as a blogger. If it is a video blog, then the person is known as a vlogger. A typical blog combines text, images and links to other blogs, web pages and other media related to this topic. There are different types of blogs like personal blog, corporate blog and moblog which operates on the phone. The most commonly used blog is personal blog. An important aspect of blogs is that many of them allows the reader to leave comments in an interactive format. The personal blog is an ongoing diary or commentary by an individual. Most common blog website such as Twitter allows blogger to share their thoughts and feelings instantly. Twitter is also known as a microblogging website. It is also much faster than an email writing. Now let's see the advantages of blogging. Blogs allow you to share your ideas and views. The cost of blogging is very low. It is one of the cheapest form of advertising. You can make a blog yourself just by the help of internet. The blogs allow you to speak directly to your audience. The audience can leave comments on your posts and thus you can reply to them and interact with them. Blogs are a positive way of getting feedback. The readers can react to certain pieces of information and they can also give you the suggestions. In this way you may know that what is the area of interest for the users and thus you can blog for the same interest. The blog builds the profile of the writer, showcasing their talents and the expertise in that field. Blogs make education demand-oriented and participant-centered. This means that the blogs will be created as per the interest of the blogger and his particular audience. So it will be beneficial for the user to join the blog of their particular area of interest. Now let's learn how to create a blog. Open any blogging website, for example www.blogger.com, and do the sign-in process. To do the sign-in process, you will require your email ID. It is a prerequisite. After signing in with your email ID, you will have to create your blogger profile. For that, click on Create Your Blog button. For creating your blogger profile, you will have to enter a profile name for your blog. This name will appear as your signature in the articles that you will post. Here you may write your own name. After that, click on the Continue to Blogger button. Now you will be redirected to the home page of the blogging website. Click on Create a New Blog button to start your own blog. Now you will be required to add a few things to start your blog. The first one is to add a title. The title is how your blog will be identified as. For example, if you can see on the screen on the right hand side, I have given the title as ICT Grade 10. That means my blog will be identified as ICT Grade 10 and I'll be posting the content related to this title only. The next is we need to add our blogging address. In simple words, when you go to a website like Google, the web address is www.google.com. Similarly, we need to set an address for our blog as well. Look on the right side of the image, I have given the address as ananiketanmaninagar.blogpost.com. The end part, that is the blogpost.com, will be automatically given by the blogger.com website. If the choice of our name, like Anandiketan Maninagar, is already been taken by somebody else, we need to get a unique name for our address, as duplicate addresses are not allowed. After selecting the address properly, we need to choose a template, that means a predefined design given by the blogger.com website for starting our blogs. After choosing any template, click on the Create Blog button. Here your blog has been successfully created, but as you can see, there is no post as of now. To add a post, click on the Create a New Post button. First you need to add a post name by which your post will be identified. As I have given the title of my blog as ICT Grade 1, I'll be naming my first post as my first blog, or you may also write Chapter 1 of Grade 10. After giving a name to the post, we'll start writing the content. If you can see, the tools are similar to the word processing tools that we have already used. We can use those tools to format our text. We can add audio, images, video, etc. to a post. After writing the content properly, on the right hand side there are certain post settings. For example, if you want to set a location, we can do it from here, or we can also schedule the time of our post from here. After doing all these settings, we need to click on the publish button to publish this post on our blog. You will be able to see your post on your screen. You can also see on the left hand side menu the number of posts which is published by you. Even after publishing the post, we get the option to edit or delete our post. We can also view our post by clicking the view button. As you are able to see on the screen, this is how your post will look like after being published. You may see all the details that you entered clearly, like the blog address, the title, the post name and the content. All the users can now see this post and also add their valuable comments on our post. You may see the sharing option on the right hand side, using which you can forward this post to any social media accounts. Thus, our blog is successfully created. You may try making a blog yourself for better understanding. Now let's talk about the news groups. For most of the people, internet means World Wide Web and email. But these are just two of the services provided by the internet. Even before these came into picture, people shared and exchanged ideas and information through a news group called Usenet. A news group is a collection of messages, normally text, posted by individuals to a news server maintained by a company, group or an individual within the Usenet system. A collection of discussion groups called news groups started way back in 1980s. A news group is a collection of information usually within the Usenet system. These messages are posted by individuals from across the globe. Another term used for a news group is discussion groups. Every news group is a platform for exchanging information on a particular subject. Here, every user is a member. The member can write the post, read and respond to the messages. Most information on the news group is written in the form of text, but nowadays people have also started exchanging graphics, audio, video and other files. There are two types of news groups. One is the moderate news group, another is unmoderate news group. In the moderate news group, there are a group of owners who browse through all the posted information to ensure that they are focused on the topic and abide by some group specific rules. They keep a check whether the information is appropriate or not. While in the unmoderate groups, it is free for all. Here anyone can post and there are no bars on the content of the post. Everybody is free to post as they like. Generally, all internet service providers, that means ISPs, offer access to a set of news groups to all users who hold accounts with them. The news groups are stored on a news server, and the ISP provides the address and password for its news server to all its users. Due to the presence of too many groups, ISPs normally feature only the selected 10 or 20,000 news groups in their servers. So every host of a news server normally maintains agreements with other news servers to regularly synchronize and access information from their news servers. Example, Google Groups. Google picked up the old Usenet archive completely, along with its all posted content as early as in 1981. You can read anything in the archive and post your own responses. The archive can be searched just as you would do a Google search. There are other news groups also which do not require an ID or a password to access. You can simply go to the websites and search for the content. For example, Microsoft Community has the Microsoft's news group. Now, how can we use a news group? To use a news group, we need to have a newsreader software. Or you can use the news groups that are available on the web and can be directly accessed through a web browser. However, newsreader software tool is more efficient to use because you can store everything in it and then read offline in leisure like you would do with the normal newspaper. A very popular newsreader in use today is Microsoft Outlook Express. The news groups work on the NNTP protocol, that means the Network News Transfer Protocol. Here you can download the newsgroup content and then work with it when you are not connected to the internet also. Now we have reached the end of the part 2 of this chapter. I hope you have learned how to create blogs and use the newsgroups effectively. Please note down the queries if any. Below given are certain activities which will help you clear the concepts. Thank you. Good luck.